Liz Hatton was delighted to be invited to Windsor Castle earlier this week, but never expected the day to end with a hug from the Princess of Wales.
16-year-old Liz has an aggressive form of cancer, but she's been living life to the full, indulging her passion for photography, which saw her land the royal invite. And I'm pleased to say we're now joined by Liz and her mum, Vicky, from their home in Yorkshire. Thank you so much for chatting to us this morning. I'm sure your life has been a whirlwind, hasn't it, in the last 24 hours? How are you doing? I'm sure you're very happy, but how are you doing dealing with it all?
It's certainly new. I've had a lot of new experiences this year, but this is yet another one.
Oh, well, it's lovely to see you. Look, that image of you and the Princess of Wales hugging said so much to all of us because we know what she's been through and there are so many thousands going through the same thing in various ways. But, of course, for you, it must have been so personal. Tell us about the conversation.
So we were chatting about photographs mainly, weren't we?
Photography was definitely a lot of what we spoke about, because that's why I was there.
Yeah, tell us how you came to be there in the first place, actually. How did it all come about?
Well, a long time ago now, around January, February, my mum put out a list of some photography things that I'd like to do. And then someone from the someone from the air ambulance saw the post and got in touch, said that they had some royal contacts and would try and get something going, basically. So in June or July time, the palace did contact us and they said, can you come and take photographs for us? And unfortunately at the time I couldn't, because I was still doing chemotherapy and the timings didn't line up. But they promised to stay in touch, which they did. And they've been so nice about it and completely understanding. So they rearranged it for the other day. And they got in touch a couple of weeks ago and said, can you do this? And so we hopped on a train and started taking photographs at the castle.
But we thought she was just taking photos of an investiture, didn't we? Yeah. We had no idea we were going to meet the Prince and Princess.
We didn't really know
and you had
until
quite a long...
it literally happened, until they walked through the door.
You had quite a long chat, and as you say, there's a bucket list and you got to cross one of the things off. You know, I've got to ask you, Mum, Vicky, and you, Liz, you're approaching your cancer, Liz, as a family with such optimism and hope. You know, for so many people out there that might wake up this morning feeling down and depressed and pessimistic about the world, how'd you go about doing it, Mum? How'd you go about living in such light, Liz?
I think we knew from the early days, so when Liz was diagnosed in January and we were told it was desmoplastic small round cell tumour, we knew that the chances of her survival were minimal. And
5% is the official
so
stat.
15% over 5 years is the survival rate, even in 5 years. And because Liz's cancer had metastasised to her liver, we knew that her chances of survival were nil. So it was really important to us that we live each day as if it was our last, and we've just done that. And I think when people ask us how we do it, we don't think any further forward than the next exciting thing we have planned. So we plan something exciting and then we look forward to it and we live for that moment, don't we? And then when we've finished it, we start planning again. Because if we look to the future, then that's too scary and we would sit in bed and not get up. So we just try not to think about it and we focus on what we're going to enjoy doing together next, don't we?
Yeah. And, of course, there are days in which that feels far too impossible to do, but on the whole, we just have to try to remain positive, because what's the point in wasting what little time I have left?
And that should be, I guess, how we all live all our lives, don't we? But it's been brought into sort of cruel and sharp focus for you, as it does to so many. What sort of treatment are you having? Because you're staying positive, you're grabbing life, but you are still dealing with all the things that are necessary, aren't you?
Yeah, well, currently I'm not on any treatment because my cancer, as is quite common with it, has become chemo-resistant. I've had 10 rounds of various different types, and it's come to the point where they're just not working, and they're growing despite all of the chemicals that are being put into my body. So I got the option of continuing with some different types of cancer, different types of chemo, or stopping the treatment. And because of the chances of them working being so slim, and because I want to spend time with my family and enjoy what time I have left instead of spending it stuck in a hospital and feeling even more terrible and dealing with side effects, then I chose to stop my chemo and just live my life at home as much as I can and
take photographs as well.
Comes.
I mean, there's something so wonderful about your passion for photography, and you must find this too, Mum, that they're beautifully executed, and we know the Princess of Wales is a bit of a photographer herself, so you'd have had that in common. But there must be something so wonderful about for you as well, Liz, of capturing life in that way, through that lens.
Yeah, I've always loved photography. I mean, I saved up for my first camera. It was hundreds of pounds in year 6. And since then, it's always, well, even before that, it's been a passion of mine, but it's continued to be all my life. I chose my high school based on the fact that they did GCSE and A-level photography. And yeah, I just love capturing the emotion of people and seeing the emotion and being able to immortalise that and show people, really.
So that's a photograph that lasts forever. It's part of your legacy. And one of the things you've, teaching us is to look forward to the future by doing the things you love and reminding yourself every day that it's a new day. And you've got a bucket list of places you'd like to go to take photographs. Do you know that bucket list? I've got it here, but what sort of... Give us a few. What's on the list?
I know that more fashion stuff is on there, although I have been lucky enough to have one opportunity at Fashion Week. There's also photographing a musical, which I did at York, but not yet the West End. Fingers crossed. Watching a movie being made is on there, I think. Seeing Would I Lie to You be filmed has been completed.
That was the first one off the list, wasn't it?
Very, very good. But there's also lots of things that weren't on the list, like photographing the investiture at Windsor, because things like that just seemed way beyond what we could achieve. And I don't think any of us expected that even half of the list could be completed, never mind all the extras that are getting thrown at us.
And you've done some lovely things, haven't you? Like, some people from charities have been in touch and you've taken photos for Young Lives with Cancer and for Emmett's Genies at their Year in a Day, and you've done lots of exciting things that you would never have even known about when we made the list.
Well, look, we've been looking through your list as well. There's some we can't pull off, but you did mention you haven't yet done the West End. And we've got a surprise for you, a gift from the producers of the West End show 6, the musical. Have you heard of that? All about the wives of Henry VIII. I've seen it. It's amazing.
Yeah,
and they heard that
one
you're.
I've always wanted to.
Oh, have you? Oh, brilliant. Well, look, they've heard how brilliant you are at taking photographs, and they've invited you to attend London's Vaudeville Theatre. That's where it is at the moment, to watch a performance of their West End show, and...
They've arranged, Liz, for you to photograph the pre-show warm-up, shooting everything from the final costume and wig finishes to the cast itself. So, Liz, you reckon you're up for it?
That's amazing, right? Are you up
Absolutely.
I mean, it's such a great show. There's
Thank
so
you
much
so much.
colour and light and all of that in the costumes and the wigs. I cannot wait to see what mixing your talent and energy with that show results in. Will you show us the pictures afterwards?
Absolutely.
How are you feeling now? I mean, it's a lot of pressure.
Just a bit. I'm honestly quite blown away, but thank you so much. Like I say, I've always wanted to see 6, and I've always wanted to take photos of it, and just a bit of a dream come true, really. Yet another one.
Well, thank you for everything. Vicky, just one last thing. I just wonder, you know, how proud of Liz are you? I know the nation watching this, I'm sure are. You're an inspiration to all of us, but just tell us if you can.
No, we're so proud of her. We're proud of her every single day. She has faced this with such determination, and she's always said she isn't scared of dying. She doesn't want to leave us behind, but she's not scared. And she does. She just gets up and lives each day. And I'm not sure I could do it if I was her. And she's amazing. I get told off if I cry, so I better not.
Yeah, well, got me.
Colour-happy tears in a way, though, because they're tears of pride. Those ones, I think, we're allowed,
agreed.
aren't we?
Yeah.
You're both so wonderful. Rob's in tears in the studio as well. But happy tears, because you're such an inspiration. And come back and chat to us if you've got the energy, and show us your photos of that. It would be lovely to see how you get on.
Yeah,
Thank
looking
you
forward
so
to
much.
seeing them. Thank you so much. Just brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Have a really great day.
Probably a lie down as well after all of
probably.
that. Busy week, busy week.